Hi Aries, this is astrologykiki with your February forecast. There's a lot going on this month. It's a short month, but you have a lot kind of packed into that month, including two eclipses, one solar and one lunar eclipse. So we're going to start off the month on the 2nd with Mercury in challenging aspect to Jupiter, and this is going to affect your 10th and your 7th houses. Your 10th house is the house of career, awards, recognition, and your 7th house is the house of partnerships, whether it's business partnership or like a spouse or a long-term loving relationship. So you might find some challenges between your partner and your work. And this is not something that you can't overcome. This is a very short aspect, but there seems to be a lot of communication going on between the two. And you may need to take action to figure out a solution to whatever's going on. On the 9th through the 3rd week of February, there will be a lot of focus on your 11th and your 1st houses. So your 11th house is a house of financial gains. It's also the house of organizations and acquaintances and networking. It's a very extroverted house, as well as your 1st house. Your 1st house is the house of appearances and your goals and dreams and your ego, your personality. So these are all very positive things going on during this time. There's positive aspects with Mercury, Uranus, Venus, the Sun, and Saturn. So you should have a lot of activity and a lot of focus going on between your acquaintances and really your ego. So maybe a lot of focus on you from a community, from a network. Maybe you have a bit of a leadership position with regards to these, or financial gain during that time. But lots of communication, throw some surprises in there, a very easy and positive time. On the 10th, there's a lunar eclipse in your 5th house. Lunar eclipses tend to signify the end of something, and your 5th house is the house of fun, but also the house of romance, creativity, and children. And lunar eclipse is not necessarily negative just because it signifies the end of something. It's just sort of the end of one phase and moving into another. So maybe there's some kind of metamorphosis going on with your romantic partner or your children, and something that's going on with that relationship is moving into a new realm. Lunar eclipses are a bit more long-term effect, so maybe you did end something. Maybe you're gonna stop dating this person, or maybe you're moving on and finally forgetting about one person and moving on to another. As well as children, maybe they're going away to college, or there's some phase that's ending and a new phase beginning. This is positively aspected, though, this lunar eclipse. So it's in trine, which is a very nice aspect, a very opportune time. It's in trine to Uranus in your 1st house. So you may have a surprise at this time. Uranus is the planet of surprises, and your 1st house is really the house of you and your ego and your personality, but your goals and dreams as well. So maybe, you're now dating the person of your dreams. Could be one of many things. And it's also sextile, which is a positive aspect to Jupiter in your 7th. And Jupiter expands things. It's the planet of luck as well, but it's the planet of expansion. And it's in your, so that's a sextile with your 7th house. So between your 7th house of partnerships and your 5th house of fun and romance, I'm thinking even though it's signifying the end of something, it's probably moving into a very good stage. It's very positive, aspect, and you have some really wonderful houses that you're working with there. On the 21st through 22nd, Mars in your first is in challenging aspect of Pluto in your 10th. So you have Mars, the planet of action and productivity, but also the planet of war and aggression. And it's in harsh aspect to your career. Your 10th house of career, awards, and recognition. So you may find some real push and pull, some kind of obstacle that you're going to have to overcome between the 21st and the 22nd with regards to your career. On the 26th, there's a solar eclipse affecting your 12th house. And that a solar eclipse is the beginning of something. And your 12th house represents many things, but spirituality, your subconscious. Also kind of, there's also a side to it that's very confidential, keeping things under wraps. It also represents things like institutions like jails and the government. So solar eclipses are more of a long-term trend, and if it's signifying the beginning of something, maybe you're beginning like more of a planning stage of something that you're not quite revealing at this time. Or maybe you're becoming more involved with something to do with a larger institution like the government. So any one of those things, maybe you're getting in more spiritually involved, or more into astrology or yoga or something that's very centering in that way. But that's your February forecast. See you next month. Thanks.